shimmered, important. I'm tapping you in.
I'm tapping you out.
Some of you, it was hard for me to tell who your partner was. And Ron Clark talked a lot about like the wussification of America. I don't think I've talked to you guys about the board. What is my
Fluttering.
You're showing them that you care about their opinion.
10 minus 4 10 equals 4. The difference is 44.
I was clipping them and separating them. Every choice is a step. You do the next race. Some huskies are cute and some huskies are not. We made sure we got the right one. Hi sweet friend, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maylene Call from Mrs. Call's Campers. If you're new here, I am a first grade teacher currently in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm not sure how much I filmed in February. Didn't really film anything in March because I just felt like I needed a little bit of a break, and a lot has happened since then. I wish I had got more of it on camera. I think I have a few TikToks or a few reels with some of the things that I'm doing, but I feel like my entire classroom has shifted a little bit, not just in the sense that they are older now and they can do more and they're showing their abilities more, but kind of just in the way that I'm running my classroom too. It's a little bit different since about mid-January. So I'm gonna take you along probably a couple of days this week and just kind of share with you how our typical life in the classroom is going. So again, if you're new here, I do film a lot that is teaching focused. I want to share with you guys what I'm doing in the classroom so that it can hopefully help someone else out there. I feel like the #1 professional development that I've ever had is from real life people doing their real life thing. On the agenda this week, we are working with 2-digit numbers, addition and subtraction. Last week we did subtraction with a 2-digit number, taking away a 1-digit number this week, and they did phenomenal with that. This week we're going to do 2-digit numbers minus 2-digit numbers. So on the agenda this week we've got Florette, which is an amazing book. I usually try to do sunflower seeds kind of around this time, so I'm not really sure. I'll catch you up on some of the things that I've been teaching just in terms of normal classroom things. So some of the books that you guys have missed and did not get to see, I don't even think I filmed this one yet. Valentine's Day, Somebody Loves You, Mr. Hatch. We did Reasons and Evidence because I really wanted them to be able to support their thinking. We did Love Z. Did you guys see that? We also did Reasons and Evidence with Love Z. That was the first one we did it with. Hair Love, Inferences. That was my observation. You guys saw that. We did Bird Hugs. And we started talking about cause and effect, which again is really important for their understanding of the story, helps with their writing as well. And then Dandy, was that last week? Then Dandy we did cause and effect as well, and I got observed on that lesson too, and that went really, really well. Of course I wasn't filming for you guys, but it was really good. And then last week we did Rocket Says, well, we started with May Among the Stars, talking about Mae Jemison. Rocket Says, Look Up. So kind of a little compare and contrast. I actually need to put this up. Is that backwards for you guys? I'm not sure. But that's kind of what it looks like. So those are the skills that we've been doing in reading. And then in math, we again have been working addition and subtraction with 2-digit numbers. And I've been doing a little bit more silent math too. When I went to Ron Clark Academy, he did a lot of sign language with his math. And so I've been slowly kind of trying that out, and I really, really like it. I feel like it's a lot faster of a way to get there, and sometimes I'll have the kids say what I'm doing. So like first you subtract your ones, and I don't do sign language for ones, I just do ones and I do tens like that. But anyways, it's a lot of fun, so hopefully this vlog isn't too scatterbrained because I have missed you guys. Every morning Miss Call writes us a
Morning message.
good
Morning.
happy Monday. Let's do this. Happy face, love.
Mrs. Call.
All right, director and helper, call our houses, please. Okay, end of the day. Had a new rhyme. We do rhyme magic. I talk about it all the time. So if you have not heard me talk about rhyme magic, I do have a video dedicated to phonics and phonemic awareness that you can go check out if you're totally unfamiliar with it. But otherwise, these are some of the elements. So I think the last time I saw you guys, I might have been doing these rhyme magic cards, but we've moved on to the power pack. So this is part of the rhyme magic, and it's organized by rhyme. You could also call these word families. I don't focus on word families at the beginning of the year because I just feel like it's a lot of effort to spend, because usually people will spend like a week on ut or op or something. So I just do all of our normal phonics skills and I teach them through the secret stories, which are up here. Also have the flashcards. So the first like week or two of school, that's when I'll take the time to introduce all of the superhero vowels. We work a lot with vowels and in a sense word families, but it's just all mixed like CBC practice with vowels. And then we go through and that's when I'll start teaching all of our phonics. I try to link it with read alouds and what we're doing and teach it authentically versus saying like, okay, we are going to work on this skill this week. I introduce it whenever they need it. So we introduce a lot of our phonics skills in a way that's more front loaded for them so we can spend more time reviewing. So they learn ER, IR, and UR pretty early on. The CH, the TH, the SH, and all that comes into play whenever we're doing sight words because I use the heart method. So if I can teach them a phonics skill for it, that's what we do. And then we will have a time later where we will like dedicate to like AU and AW, for example. So we will have that. But because so much of it is front loaded, I'm at the point in the year where all of my phonics skills, they have been taught, and it's March 27th today. So we're doing these power packs from Rhyme Magic because they review lots of other skills, but they still have a focus on the rhyme. So day one, I'll give them the rhyme. This week it was ut. And we brainstorm words that have the rhyme. And I kind of just see what they can come up with. Last week, what was our rhyme? M. This week, our rhyme
Is us.
is ut.
How do you know? Because I saw
He saw a word.
nut.
Our rhyme is ut. Okay, so we need to come up with some 1,
2 and 3 and 4 and 4.
hold on. Where's my eraser? All right, our rhyme is? I'm looking for 1 syllable words. 1 syllable word.
Hut.
Hut. What's a hut?
I think that back in the day they didn't have houses, so they used huts as houses.
And there's people today who live in huts too. It just depends on where you live.
H-U-T.
Huts. Good. I'm looking for a 1 syllable word. Ut. Cut.
U-T.
Good. I need you to be together and confidence. Miss Ma'am, 1 syllable word.
Nut.
Nut.
Shut.
Ooh, she threw a digraph in there.
U-T.
Nice job throwing a digraph in there. Okay. 1 syllable word. Cute. Say ut. Cute. It's different. Who has a 1 syllable word with our rhyme? Go butt.
B-U-T.
Okay, any more 1 syllable words we can think of? A rut is like if you're kind of stuck. So people will say, oh, I'm just stuck in a rut. What? Oh, that actually does have that sound. We know that is that A making that sound. I'm glad you brought that up. What was yours?
Peanut.
Peanut. Woo, that's a good one. Say peanut.
Peanut.
Ready? Peanut. First syllable?
P.
P, but we know every syllable has a vowel. And this vowel, is it short and lazy or is it superhero strong? So how might we spell that E sound? We can spell it E-A. And you are right. It is. It's E-A. Well, I know, and he's allergic to peanuts.
Yes.
Strutting. First syllable? Strut. We already have that. Spell strut. Is it in the middle or the end? It's at the end. Ut. So, before I add my ending, I need to spell strutting. S-T-R-U. Nice job. Ready? Utterly. First syllable? How do I spell it? Say utterly. Without the lee, it is? Without the lee, it is? Utter. What do I need to do here? Double the letter. U-T-T. Hold on. Say utter. What's my ending? E-R. Now, how am I going to spell lee? Hold on. Let's try L-E. What does L-E say? Nope. Oh, it says oh. So we need to drop the E. Add a. The word is? Shuttle. Like a bus or kind of like a shuttle that goes to space. Butter, would that work?
Yes.
Everybody say it. Shuttling. We're gonna put shuttle up here. Shuttling. Drop the I.
That's a two-syllable.
Shuttling. Shuttling.
It's a two-syllable.
It looks like it because this E is hiding.
Yeah.
That's why. You got one?
Huddling.
Huddling. Say it. Huddling. That would work if our rhyme was but it's that was so close though.
I-N-G.
That was so good. I love the perseverance. Okay, let's see what they have for us. Stuttered. So I wanted to show you that this week and kind of our new routine for it because it's really, really great. And let me show you our spelling test from last Friday. Like I said, I feel like I just want to update you guys on everything. So I kind of start simple, and sometimes I'll take some of my kids who just need like really basic practice and I'll give them kind of an easier list. Sometimes I won't because I just want to see what they're capable of. So the words were slim, simmer, limped, trimming, shimmered, important, and intimidate. And these are really, really challenging words, but we practice a lot of similar words or even some of these words throughout the week. We really break them down and they know every component of these words. And so we can do things like this, which again, it's one of the reasons why I think front-loading phonics is really, really beneficial. And like ever since I've started using the secret stories, it's been so much easier for me to kind of get through those skills and really make them stick so that we can, you know, work on words like this. So I'll show you what some of their spelling tests actually look like because oftentimes they do really, really well. And you can see even the ones who don't get it are very, very, very close. Even if they don't get it, they're really, really close. But all I do is I say the word. Sometimes I'll say take off your ending and then add your ending to it. It's impressive. And even my ones who really are struggling, like look at all this. Like one of my friends right here could not do CVC words at the beginning of the year. Like this is amazing. So they have been loving that. They've really been enjoying it. They look forward to our new rhyme every week. And it's not just me teaching like im or ut. It's incorporating all of the other phonics skills into that. And I think day one is actually really fun for them because they love to come up with the words and kind of see which words are in the power packs and which words match up. So anyways, that's what we do day one. Day two, we focus more on syllabication, so I'll show you that tomorrow, and if I don't take you with me through the rest of the week, I will at least kind of explain what we do. And then for poetry, I move a lot faster than I did at the beginning of the year because, I mean, we are in March. They know capital letters. They know punctuation, so I don't spend a ton of time on that. I'm just spending a very short amount of time on it once every 10 days because I still want to review it. It's still part of our routine, but I just kind of rush through that quickly with our poetry. We are going to read the poem one time together. I'm going to have someone come up and do sight words. You are going to do capital letter and punctuation by yourself. Are you ready to read? The first one. Oh, hold on. Let's chunk this one up. Let's chunk it up. If I was going to separate this into syllables, affirmed. Do you know what that means? Good guess, good guess. It means you're saying something for sure. In a way, it's kind of like encouraging and letting somebody know that it's true. The second one added capital letters. Ready? Go. Go ahead and color your punctuation. What color?
Pink.
Pink. Don't let those commas trick you. Oh, some of you missed our very first sight word. Pretty good. You can even draw a box around it right here too. Like, oop. Oh, I love that you're showing them the word too. Beautiful. You can even draw like a little box around it and color it all in.
No. One of them is a shy letter.
Sight words, I don't feel like I need to spend that much time on it whole group. So again, once every 10 days, I'll let a kid come up and lead and mark all the sight words, and it gives them a leadership opportunity. They feel successful, and for my lower kids, they're getting exposure to the sight words. But I don't spend as much time on poetry, the earlier skills, as I did at the beginning of the year. So now I'm focusing more on like nouns, adjectives, verbs, and that's just like a cycle that we practice every week. So it's not something they just learn and forget. Our new book, Florette, I told you we were going to start a new writing unit, and I haven't necessarily told them. I guess I did today. We're not officially starting it. I'm just getting them used to some of the terminology so that I can make them really strong writers when it comes to their, creative writing. So we practiced some of that. That was fun and interesting. I am I'm actually pretty disappointed because the past few weeks their discussions have been really, really good. And they've been getting much better at being able to articulate what they're thinking and respect their peers. And today, of course, the first day back that I'm vlogging, I felt like they did not do a really good job at that this week. I felt like they were talking over each other. They weren't really listening. They needed their peers to kind of, get them back on track and get them in place. I'm hoping tomorrow looks better, because as we are finishing up our personal narratives, right? We already wrote them, they're done. We're just publishing them right now. We're moving into a new type of writing. Instead of nonfiction writing, which is real life and true, we're going to be moving into fiction writing, which is fake and made up. We're going to talk about some of the important things that authors use in their stories to make them really, really interesting. We're talking about their personality. Character. Describe a identity. Motivation. Do you guys know about that word, motivation? What's motivation?
Okay, how do I explain?
Have you ever heard someone tell you you are motivated?
Yeah, like you're like crazy and stuff. You're like
Not crazy, maybe determined. Right? If you're really motivated to do something, you really want to do it. And the motivation for characters is why they are doing something. I'm going to the fridge because I want food. That's my motivation. This one's pretty simple. It's what the characters do. It's what they do. And actions are important because they move the story along. Imagine reading a book about a character that does nothing. And for every single action, there is a consequence. Now, a lot of times, first grade, when we hear this word consequence, it sounds bad. But guess what? It doesn't always have to be bad. So the consequence of you sitting on your leaf and listening super, super well might be you get a dojo point. A consequence is the result of an action. If I bring Miss Call a coffee,
It will spill.
happy.
I would be happy. That would be the consequence, right?
That's what I did last
So they can be good or they can be bad. They can be positive or they can be negative. Kind of like the cause and the effect. Characters have problems. The conflict is the problem. It's the challenge that the characters face. So when we read Rocket Says Look Up, what was the conflict? What was her problem? That was one of the conflicts. Can characters have multiple conflicts or problems?
Yes.
Yes, they can, and it makes it more
Interesting.
interesting, right? The more challenges that our characters have in the story, the more interesting the story becomes. Suspense. We've talked a lot about suspense. Suspense is leaving hints so readers feel nervous or excited. What's one way that authors like to leave suspense? What do they use? Details. What else?
For your pictures.
Oh yeah, there could be hints in the pictures.
Dot,
Dot, dot, dot. That's actually called an ellipsis, but dot, dot, dot. That creates suspense. They're little hints that the author is leaving so that readers feel nervous or excited.
I got goosebumps when you said that.
You did. Brand new story today. This book was actually donated by one of my friends, Shayna. So thanks, Shayna. Florette. This page is called the title page. When May's family moved to the city, May wanted to bring her garden with her.
Motivation.
Is the why. It's why characters do something. Identity is their personality. What do we know about May's identity so far? Character traits. Describe a character. What's her identity? Oh, she might be sad because they're moving and she wants to bring her garden. Okay, what else?
Her identity.
Tell them.
Her identity is that her garden.
She likes her garden. That's part of her identity, right? Would you say that's part of my identity, Miss Calls?
Yeah.
And Daffodil's characters have problems. We're hearing about the conflict or the problem in this story. What is the conflict?
She really wants a garden, but there's too much. It's too crowded between the buildings.
She missed playing with her friends, listening to the birds in the apple trees. Our conflict. Do we know more about our conflict? Who can tell me more about our conflict? She longed to chase butterflies in the wavy grass. She drew her own butterflies. What's May's motivation for drawing these butterflies? Talk about it. May's motivation is? So the motivation is the why the character does something. So who can explain May's motivation in drawing? Hold on, wait till I'm done speaking first and then look before you speak, remember? So we're discussing about why she would draw this. Her motivation is what?
Her motivation is she used to run around with the butterfly, so she drawed the butterflies. Because there is no butterflies there.
Can anybody add to that?
I agree with. And her motivation is that she draws them because she loves.
May is trying really, really hard to do what?
Back her garden.
She's not trying to get it back.
She's
trying to make
a new one.
She's trying to make a new one with. She's trying to make a new one with the boxes. She's trying to.
Nope, he said something. You need to acknowledge what he said.
I agree.
You need to look at him if you're talking to him.
I agree with. I think she's trying to have fun because she can't go outside because she knows that her butterflies are washed away.
Exactly. Beautifully said, right? She tried outside, but they got washed away, and now she's trying inside, but what's happening?
They're getting taken away.
All the boxes are getting taken away. She's trying really hard to be a problem solver. Who can explain the motivation or the why behind May is going to this open space? Someone I haven't heard from.
There was an open space for plants, so I think her mom is teaching go there.
Because
her identity is that she really likes plants.
beautiful. So if you see someone who's not quite there and you think they're close, help them out a little bit, okay? I love that. Thank you for doing that. I want you to make an inference about why these chairs are empty. Talk about it.
I got it.
Oh, hold on, pause. Everybody sit down. Immediately stand up, turn to a partner, and begin talking. Let's try again. I want you guys to make an inference about why these chairs are empty. Talk about it. Much better.
Nobody goes to that park because it's so empty. I agree with you, but I think probably the chairs are empty because everybody's like, oh, this park looks pretty lame, and nobody wants to go to it. I think that no one likes that park, and she went to that because she went to that park, and she was like, Mom, this. And then she came back and she was like, Mom, there's an open space to make a garden. Should we make one?
Oh, you're making a prediction. Okay, so you guys were really close talking about that. You think there's no one here because no one likes the park. What do we know about the park? What's it filled with? Not only are you taking away from your learning by playing with him, you're taking away from everybody else's learning because we can hear you and then we get distracted. You're responsible for your body. He listened to the hum of the city and the rustle of a tiny bird, an apple tree bird. Suspense is when the author leaves us hints to make us feel nervous or Oh, is she the only one listening? Nervous or?
Excited.
So what little hint did the author give us to create some suspense here? Talk about it. One, I actually heard a lot of you say it. If there's an apple tree bird, there might be an apple tree.
It might be the apple tree.
And see if you can find what the author did to create suspense. What'd they do?
They made dot. The author made shadows.
Shadows. Oh,
And
yeah.
they made dot.
And they did here, right here, this dot. That means something's about to happen. They're creating some suspense. They're leaving little hints for us.
I made a prediction.
Forest.
I would love to go in there.
I'm going to zoom you in, okay? Over here we have the buildings. Characters have. We know so far May's identity is that she really loves nature and plants. And her motivation to follow this apple tree bird was that she was hoping to find what?
An apple tree.
An apple tree. Okay, so she followed the bird. That was her action. What was the consequence to her following the bird? Leafy forest. Stared at the entrance for a really long time. Then she noticed a small...
Notice means to pay attention to.
Then she noticed a small green sprout peeking through a gap. How are they creating suspense? Talk about it. Oh, pause. Nope. Everybody sit down. Some of you are sitting here dead boned like this. Put the bones back in your body. How is the author and illustrator, how are they creating suspense here? There's lots of different ways. What hints are they leaving us here to make us feel nervous or excited? Talk about it. Better. On your knees in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I have someone who really deserves this because I know when they were listening to their partner, because I could see them looking at their partner and really agreeing with them. Name on the wheel. I love that. She was the only person who I saw. Maybe you did it and I didn't see it. She's the only person who I saw was looking into their partner's eyes and showing that they were listening. I need to see that. I need to see that you guys are listening to your partners. Just as important as talking.
Any more pants through the crack, and that's the only one that's there. How they made suspense was they put dot again.
Can you explain that?
Oh, I agree with
Hold on. Can you explain that? We know something's coming. How else do they create suspense?
They
create suspense because that they didn't want somebody to go in there because there's probably like something dangerous in there.
No, you're close though. How do you know they didn't want people in there?
They didn't want people in there because maybe the.
How do you know people can't go in there?
because it's closed.
It's closed. Yeah, that creates suspense. Yes. Okay, let me get some more.
It says that it's closed, so that means you shouldn't go in there because there might be an alarm and it might go ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, so there's suspense happening, right? She can't go in, but this little sprout is on the outside. Then she noticed a small green sprout peeking through a gap.
Wait.
I'm going to ask you a question. There's not really a wrong answer, but do you think her action will have a consequence? I'm tapping you in.
I'm tapping you out.
Okay, listening.
I think it's not a good idea because maybe in that plant store you have to buy the plants. There is no consequence because it was outside. Because there was outside the gap. And usually if it's outside the gap, you could just take it. I agree with. I like what you said to me. Now I have a different prediction. I think now maybe they don't need it. Maybe it's slipped under, or maybe they don't need it. So then the plant could go slipped under while it was growing. I agree with you guys. You can kind of see that she wants plants because of the way she likes them.
You guys are getting away from the action and consequence. I said, do you think that her actions will have a consequence?
I think there's gonna be a good consequence because she might make a new garden. I think it's a bad consequence because maybe.
All right, I'm tapping myself back in beautiful.
In.
I'm here. I don't know. What should I say to that?
Back.
Okay, so you guys pointed out that there are a couple of different things that could happen. Maybe she could just take the little piece of forest and everything would be okay. Or maybe it's not okay. Maybe it's stealing. We don't know. You guys made really, really good points. She might be able to do something with that little piece of forest. So let's see. Why would the author say that May held her treasure when it was just a plant? Can you talk to me about her identity and why she would think this was a treasure? You made a great connection to the beginning of this story, and I like how you acknowledged what she said. You remembered that May gathers things for her treasure jar. And my friend said that it might be considered a treasure because we know her identity is that she
Likes plants.
she really loves plants and she loves nature. What do you think? Can you talk about what's happening here? Talk about it.
I got you.
Oh, have a seat. Feel that in your body.
Yes.
You need to be ready. I know it's a Monday. This is hold on, have a seat. It's very, very strange. I think you guys are getting a little lazy. Hey, we can't get lazy. We still have so much to learn before second grade. So you need to be ready and listening, okay? Can you talk to me or your partner about what's happening on this page? Talk about it. I want to hear from someone new about what is going on this page here. Something's happening. Hold on. I love what you did. You know that you've had a lot of turns in the conversation, but you waited for someone to join in and no one did. So if you're in that situation where you feel like you made a really good point and no one's saying anything, I want you to look at someone and say, what do you think? Or do you have the same opinion? Do you have a different opinion? So let's try it. Go ahead, stand up again.
I think that she was playing it every day, and then they got around her, and then the other people wanted help, and then more people got around her.
Exactly right. We can see that time is passing, but only 2 people said it. And we've talked about this in a lot of our books. Do you see how it starts here, and then here, and then here? And we know that time is passing, right? I need you to have confidence and I need you to say it. Do you understand?
Yes.
I'm going to back up and reread. At home, May held her new treasure up to the light with enough space for a plant to grow. Suspense in May's garden.
Oh my goodness.
All right, we need to make some inferences here. Talk about it.
Started with one plant. And more. You got it.
3, 2, 1. I want to draw something to your attention. Are these all the same kind of plant?
No.
No. Does that change how
Yes.
you think this happened? I'm going to let you talk about it one more time. Talk about it.
She started with this plant and then we got that one.
We had to make some inferences about how this happened. And what I want you to work on during these last few minutes of our conversation is number 1, sharing your opinion or your inference and explaining why. All my listeners, you're showing that you agree or you don't agree so much. And I want you to acknowledge what the other friends are saying. Don't just say, I think this. Okay, I think this. I want you to acknowledge each other. I'm tapping you in?
I'm tapping you out.
Great, that's right.
They started with one plant and then her friends are bringing her more plants wherever. Like if they find a plant, they're like, oh, I should bring this to my friend. She kept on.
Okay, here's the problem. Here's the problem that we ran into. A lot of you have something to say. So when you stand up and are looking, all you have to do is say, okay, as soon as I'm done, I'm going to call on that person. You need to be very aware that there are other people who have things to say. So should I stand up here the whole time and talk?
No.
No, she made a good point. You need to acknowledge what she said before you start speaking.
Seeing so many people bringing plants, but I think that they all are starting to make a garden because she doesn't have any friends, and now she does, and now they're all making a garden because they felt bad.
Tell them. You don't see if anybody's agreeing with you.
And they really wanted to give her some plants because she.
So you think that the kids gave her the plants, okay? Does someone think something different?
I think that she's getting all the plants. She's getting all the plants by herself from the thing she got this same plant from. Then here that she made, and I thought she got like all the other plants and started to collect them, so she'll have a whole entire garden. Did anybody notice that there's a butterfly? Because May's like going like that, and in the beginning she was trying to make butterflies, but now we have a real butterfly just right here. I saw that too, and before, in the beginning, she had to draw her own butterflies, but now, instead, in a different world, she made different plants, but instead...
I'm going to take you guys back to this page for a second, see if you can make some more inferences. We're going to read this book for the rest of the week. Going forward, I want you to know that, and also the last page is important too. We'll talk about the last page more some other time. We spent time today finishing up our personal narratives, and their personal narratives are completely written at this point, and I will share them with you. I probably will vlog again on towards the end of the week, share with you guys their personal narratives. You can get more lines.
Wait, is it okay?
Nice work, buddy. Nice work. Because they're really, really good. They turned out amazing. They were just doing the last little details like about the author, which those are hilarious. So that's pretty much all we did today. We did do math. I did film it. Except I looked over at one point and my phone was crooked, so I don't know if you actually saw it. If someone is trying to distract you or bother you, it is your job to do what?
Ignore or move away.
Ignore or move away.
Ignore or do love.
Okay, here we go. First, you add the ones. 0 plus 2 equals 2. Beautiful job. Next, you add the tens. So we can say two things. We can say 7D, or we can say 7 tens. Let's practice the tens. Ready? 7 tens plus 2 tens equals 9 tens. 92. Beautiful. Ready for our next one?
Number.
It is. First, we add our ones. A plus 1 equals 9. Beautiful. Next, we add our tens. 1 10 plus 3 tens equals 4. Okay, we're not going to draw it out because I want to know that you know it in your brain. Ready? Let's try another one. Just saying the numbers. All right, this one you guys are going to do in your brain. Give me a thumbs up when you know the answer. I want to see how long it takes you guys. Ready, set, go. And you get 98. Okay, let me see how long it takes you. Ready? See if you can do it without your fingers. I'm reading your mind. I can see some of you are starting with your 10s. You need to make sure you start with your 1s always. And you get
97.
Push your brains. You ready for that focus work?
Yeah.
I'm so glad because what we're about to do is not easy. So if this feels easy to you, that means you've got a good, solid, strong foundation and you're ready. You can see it for the most part, but this is something that I have been playing with, doing with them, is doing more quiet mental math, and I started it pretty much right when I got back from Ron Clark, because I saw him doing a lot of that. And so I would tell them I needed them to use their Jedi mind powers, and they did really, really well when we were combining numbers. I've been incorporating more sign language into math to kind of guide them through it, and it's really nice because everybody can be kind of on the same page in the same pace. And I think you might see today in the clips that I share with you, I'm like really encouraging them like to go, to name it, to do it with confidence, to be all together, just things like that to make it a bit easier. But I've really been enjoying that, and they've been feeling super successful with it. So I've been seeing a lot of really positive effects, just kind of shifting that teaching just a little bit. And my math lessons are also a lot shorter. So I'm able to spend more time later with my higher groups and my lower groups. So that's been nice. Okay, so I have to go. I'm gonna go home, go ice skating, and see you tomorrow. It's the next day. It's after school. I didn't take you home. I'm mostly just going to focus on classroom content in this vlog before I take you back into the whole, fun hang out with me vlogs, because I feel like I had a lot to share with you. It's been a day. It has been such a day. And what I find so interesting is that last week, was I vlogging? No. Week before that, was I vlogging? No. We've actually been doing pretty well. Like conversations have been great, and I was so sad that I wasn't vlogging, and now I'm vlogging, and I've just been having to do a lot of coaching and a lot of supporting and a lot of reminding, and it's absolutely exhausting. So you're seeing that this week. I don't know how much is actually going to make it into the vlog, but I'm experiencing that this week. They are crazy. First, Rhyme Magic. This is day 2. I'm going to try to show you the whole routine this week if I can. I'm not sure, but day 2, Rhyme Magic. We're focusing on syllables here. So I have them, they have nothing. It's just their bodies on the carpet, and they're watching me completely, totally engaged. Tomorrow, they'll have whiteboards, and we'll mark some syllables together. But for today, it's just explicit teaching. So we mark the vowels in the word, we count the syllables. I always say, how many syllables should we expect to see in the word? Because the vowel correlation to syllables, it's not true 100% of the time. Like in words like stuttered, for example, the ending is not making a vowel sound. So it's not stuttered, it's stuttered. So that word has 2 syllables, even though there's 3 vowels. But most of the time it's a pretty reliable rule for kids to follow, especially when they're writing as well. And then even if they were writing the word stutter, they could still do syllables, stuttered, and they know that after the tur, that d sound, that's an ending. They know how to spell it ed. So that's where that training at the beginning of the year comes in. We started with a new rhyme yesterday. What was our rhyme? So we're just going to practice reading some of these words together. If you're learning, you are? Should you be looking at your friend? No. Where are your eyes supposed to be?
On the board.
Ready? Here we go.
Cut, nut, shut, butt, strut.
Peanut, strutting, cutting, shuttle, butter. 3 syllables. Here we go. Utterly, butterfly, shuttling, buttering, fluttering, muttering. Okay, you ready to do some syllable work?
Yes.
Okay, me too. Vowels do you see? How many vowels? Beautiful. Show me first vowel.
You.
Second vowel.
I.
Okay, so we should expect this word to have 2 syllables. And I'm going to divide this word between the consonants. My first syllable, is it open or closed? Closed. It's a closed syllable, right? This you is saying because this consonant helps this superhero you be in disguise. Our second syllable is
Ting.
ting. The word is shutting. Okay, next one. Okay, this one is a little tricky. Show me with your fingers, how many vowels do you think there are? Okay. Beautiful. What's our first vowel?
U.
Second vowel?
E.
Last vowel?
Y.
Nice job, first grade. Kiss your brains. I thought it was getting tricky there. So we should expect this word to have how many syllables?
3.
3 syllables. My first syllable is going to be open or close?
Close.
Close. I'm going to divide it between the
Consonants.
Between these two consonants right here. My second syllable is open or close?
Close.
It's close. I'm going to divide it between what two letters?
Turn. ER.
Right here?
No.
No.
Hold on,
you show me. Am I going to put it here?
No.
Here?
Yes.
Yes. I am perfectly fine. Could I put it here?
No.
Who can tell me why I would not do that? Okay, I see 1, 2.
F in the L.
What is that? What is that?
A blend.
A blend. This is a blend. Would I ever separate my blend?
No.
First syllable?
U.
Good. I need everyone to say it. First syllable?
U.
Second syllable?
E.
We'd expect this word to have? 2 syllables. Oh, yeah. It said syllable.
we to split it out?
Everybody makes mistakes. Let's redo that. First vowel.
U.
Second vowel.
E.
I love you. Were listening so hard. Who's speaking? You were listening so hard that you caught my mistake, and I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Okay, so we'd expect this word to have 2 syllables, and I'm going to divide this word between the
Consonants.
between these 2 consonants right here. So I have consonant, consonant, vowel, consonant. Consonant,
Digraph.
vowel, consonant, consonant. What is that?
Digraph.
It's a digraph. Okay,
Wait,
our
it's
first
I-
syllable is?
Shut.
I need everyone to say it. Our first
Shut.
syllable.
Shut.
Shut. What's our second syllable?
Turn.
Turs. Beautiful. The word is?
Shutter.
Shutters. After my magic, we went into poetry. I let them lead it. Really trying to get them to take charge of the poetry as much as I can. Okay, we're going to move on. After nouns, we do?
Adjectives.
Adjectives. Adjectives describe a?
Noun.
Hold on. You are in read aloud mode. I need you in poetry grammar mode. Adjectives describe a?
Noun.
Noun. I want you to look in the title. A yes or a no. Do you see an adjective in our title? Yes or no? What's our adjective?
Pretty.
Pretty. Okay, who wants to lead adjectives or describing words?
The first and bright.
I give them permission whenever they're having discussions or leading something to kind of take more control. So I'll tell them, like, make sure they're ready, have them show you this. If they're not reading with you, like, stop and make them do it again, like act like the teacher basically, and they do really well with that. Then we've moved into our read aloud, still trying to get them familiar with our new vocabulary words that are very challenging and very fun for them, and they're doing a really great job with it. Right, everybody makes mistakes.
Everybody has those days.
I'm really having one of those days, huh?
Yeah.
I made mistakes during grammar. I made mistakes during poetry. I made a mistake yesterday. Is that okay?
Yeah.
That is totally okay.
77.
We have some new important challenging vocabulary words because our next writing that we're going to be doing, we're going to be using all these things we're talking about. Are you ready to review?
Yes.
Okay. Repeat after me. Identity.
Identity.
It's the character's personality.
It's a character's personality.
And motivation.
Motivation.
It's the why.
It is the why.
I go fill up my water bottle. What would be my motivation?
You need to drink the water.
I'm thirsty. My motivation is I'm thirsty.
You
Characters
ran out of water.
feel motivated to do things, and those things that they do are called their
Action.
actions. It's what the characters do. It moves the story along. What's it do?
Moves the story along.
Beautiful. And every action has a consequence. It's a result of actions. It's a
Result of action.
It's the
Result of action.
So if you're playing over there by the sink, what might be a consequence?
Name on the board.
Name on the board. What if you remind me of a mistake I made? What might be the consequence?
Put your name on the wheel.
Maybe you could put your name on the wheel. All right, and something else authors do to make their books more interesting. It's what I am doing right now. I'm creating, not conflict. Suspense. Suspense. It's leaving hints. It's leaving to make readers feel nervous or excited. And our last one.
Conflict.
It's the problem. These are the challenges that characters face. So today, when we are reading our book, we are going to discuss using these vocabulary words. I want to see, as we have our discussions, if you can use any of these words. So that might look like, actually, I'm not going to give you an example. I just want to see where you go with it, okay? Okay, so today you're going to try to use these words in our discussions. Getting on it?
And our magic word because.
Oh, you know what? Sometimes I point to this word while you're talking to remind you to give that evidence. I would love to hear this word some more. You guys are doing wonderful. Here we go. Our book is called? Huh?
I don't know what the book is called. It's called
Flora wanted to bring her garden with her. Her mother said she could make a new garden, but there was no room among the crowded building for apple trees and daffodils. I want to see if someone can talk about one of our vocabulary words.
Motivation is that her motivation is that she wants to bring her garden with her, and her identity also is she wants to bring her garden with her, probably because she loves her plants and gardens, and there's no space for a garden in the city for apple trees and daffodils.
So you were doing a lot of talking there, and I love the points that you make. We discussed some of those yesterday, but I want you to practice just saying the one thing you really want to say and seeing if you can pull in other people. So when you looked around, you saw about 5 or so people agreeing with you. So next time, I want you to try to pull them into the conversation, okay? You made some great points. Instead of winding paths and leafy hiding spots, all May found was a cranky cat.
May lived in a really spaceful place, and her identity is that she wants to bring her garden with her, and she likes plants. I agree with her, but I think maybe she lived in a really peaceful place that has a lot of plants, and that's why she loved her garden so much.
Beautiful. We can make that inference about May, right?
Yeah.
Because this feels like it's a change for her. Drew her own butterfly. You got something to add? Go for it, girlie.
Got this nice. You got this nice.
Go ahead. What do you want to say? No? Okay, let me know if you change your mind. Move away from him. Away from him. Okay, so what you're doing is you're really good at making your point, but then you feel like you need to keep going and going and going. I need you to get your point across in a really short way, okay? Because they listened to the story, they heard what happened. All I want you to do when you're standing is just explain, just a short explanation. So who can tell me what she said in a short explanation? What did she say? What is the proof?
The proof is.
Okay, hold on, have a seat. We're really having a hard time this week because you guys are just talking over each other, okay? I never, ever, ever want someone to feel sad because someone was just talking over them, and every time you guys stand up, you immediately start yelling your point. So if you would like to answer, I love that. I think that's wonderful. I want you to stand up and then speak. See who else is trying to answer. If it's someone who hasn't had a turn yet, let them take the floor. Let them do it, okay? And then if they see you stand up as well, like stand up at the same time, if you let her speak first, the polite thing to do would be to say, I'm done. Did you want to add to that? Directly to her, because you knew she had something to say, okay? Ow. And the proof is...
The proof
No, percent.
is that she wanted to lead the way. The proof is that she ran downstairs and she wanted to lead the way. Would you like to add to that? Her motivation was that
And that proves it because
because
walked over a bridge. She turned the corner, walked over a bridge between the buildings. On your leave in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. For me, looking around, I could see some of you and I could say exactly who your partner was, because, can I use you as an example? You were standing facing each other and you were looking into each other's eyes, either really listening, you were laser focused on your partner. Some of you, it was hard for me to tell who your partner was. I need you to work on that, got it?
got it.
Okay, so, there's not even any in there, but here on this page, there is. So we can tell time has passed the book in general was a struggle today, just with behaviors. I've had so many behaviors already and it's Tuesday. It's just been absolutely draining. I only got in one small group time today. I feel like I just was spending so much time talking to them about behaviors and redoing things. We were even late to lunch because they couldn't walk in the hallway and I made them go back, redo it, like just all these little things. But my small group today was focusing on 2-syllable words, comprehension, possessive nouns. They did pretty well. I don't have the energy. Words that have multiple syllables, and we are also going to be working on one of our endings. 2 syllables. Two syllables. So if I'm not sure what this word is, which syllable would I look at first? The first syllable. What is this word? Laptop. Beautiful. And you're also going to see something else in your reading today. S. What's that?
Lucy's.
Lucy's.
That means like it's his.
Yeah, it means it belongs to
Somebody.
Lucy. So if it says Lucy's
It looks like
car, the car belongs to Lucy. What do you know so far?
I know that they're like all their bots are doing different things.
Mel's bot can net and jet in the garden. Great job covering up this part to see that word. Okay, you said fun and you kept going. I want you, when you see that punctuation mark, to make sure you pause. Can you read it from the beginning? These
10 kids have lots of fun.
Close. Do you remember what EY says? A. So it's they. Fantastic.
To have fantastic and pop at sunset.
Beautiful, beautiful. The kids' names.
Ron, Kim,
Ron. You guys are going to write in your journals about the type or the bot that you would have and what it would do. So you're going to describe your bot and then you're going to tell me something that it would do. Okay, so describe. And then an action. Okay, so we have a couple minutes before lunch. That's what we're going to do.
I know it's gonna end with a V, so I put an E.
All right.
My bot would be happy all the time and kind, and it would rap for me.
Beautiful. So I want you to work on not starting sentences with and.
Read it.
Yeah, go ahead.
My bot is gonna be cool, and it will cook and be my personal bodyguards.
All right. So you were supposed to do one sentence about your bot and then one sentence about an action. So you have, my bot is gonna be cool. So that would be one sentence. And our next sentence would be, it will cook and be my personal bodyguard. Guard. Okay, so this word looks like it has one syllable. Say personal.
Person.
There's three. So check your syllables and see if you can figure that out. Personal.
I tried my
No,
best.
that's really, really good. But just so you know, for if you ever need to spell it again.
I mean, that's like a 5th grade word.
Oh yeah, 5th grade. Okay. Okay, my bot is nice. Read it for me.
My bot is nice. My bot
Hold on.
can...
Did you hear that pause right there?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. My bot is nice.
My bot can make lemonade and clean.
Good. So it sounds like this is a sentence. My bot is nice.
Yeah.
So we need
What is that?
punctuation at the end. Can you add punctuation here?
Yeah.
Okay, keep reading.
My bot can make lemonade and clean.
Beautiful. So here you have this EA saying E. So you actually don't even need mommy E here, okay? Because you already make it say E like that, and that's correct.
Oh yeah. And wait. And my bot's name is Mom. I think
Moby. Punctuation mark.
is so good.
This is amazing. I noticed you used your apostrophe S here. I love that. We are going to try not to start sentences. You have your period here. We're going to try not to start sentences with and. So we'll just say, my bot's name is Moby. He is so good. Okay?
Good.
This is God. Can you make it say good?
Good. Oh.
Yep. Good. All right. This word here. Do you remember how we make this sound sometimes? Yes, ma'am. Can you fix it for me? Yeah. Awesome job. My bot is very nice and kind. Do you hear the blend at the end of this word? Kind. Yeah. Let's write it again here. Kind. Oh wait, this is cute. Thank you. Yes. Good. Kind. Say protective.
Protective.
Next one. Protect.
CT?
Yeah, CT. Really proud of you. Ta-da!
I did that. I am gonna do a list of my bench space.
Yeah.
Look, hear it.
Hey. We moved into writing. I don't really have any writing instruction to share with you this week because they're finishing their personal narrative. So other than me kind of introducing those vocabulary words that I talked to you about, action, identity, motivation, those, I'm not really doing writing instruction. They're really just finishing their books, and their books are so good. So good. So that's on them. I talked to you a little bit about our math yesterday, and what we have been doing is instruction. Should I map this out? Yeah, let me map this out. So the routine for the past few weeks has been instruction, then focus work, which is just plain practice, like just the problems are on a sheet, something I can grade, and then Rocket Math, which is a computer program, task cards, which go with kind of go with the worksheets that I use, and then there's another computer program for them to do, so it's not just like all the time on the computer, it's broken up. So what that looked like for the past few weeks is I give instructions. Sometimes my high kids will stay, sometimes they will go, sometimes they'll be with me for the first few days of a unit, and then if they've really got it, I'll let them go. If it's something a little bit more like place value, I'll have them stay for the first part of every lesson and then have them go. So when they go, they move on, they do their focus work, and then they go through all of these. So that means for the rest of the class, while I'm still in this instruction zone, they're completing this bottom zone. And then when the rest of the class is in the focus work zone, so after I'm done teaching the rest of the class and they are moving into this, my high kids are now ready for me, so I'll meet with them afterwards and kind of do like an extension with them because all the other students need to move through here. And then I'll also stay a bit longer with some of my kids who need more support through the worksheet. That's what we've been doing for weeks. This week and even last week, it's looked a little bit different. It's just been shorter. So The beginning part is the same, but we do the instruction. My high kids either stay or they go. Stay for a little bit, go for a little bit. It just depends on how I feel and what skill it is. My high kids immediately do their, I forgot to put it, but they still do their little, it's like a worksheet. They still do the worksheet. And then they go straight into their computer programs. And I have about 7 right now for this unit that they are just like, they're fine. So then after I'm completing instruction, so far it's pretty much the same. So after I complete instruction, we head into our focus work, and I will usually do the first couple problems with any kids who need that support. So I'll say, if you feel like you're good, here's your little work, go. And if you feel like you want some more help, you want me to walk you through a couple more, stay on the carpet. So they decide like, okay, I want to stay on the carpet with you. Even if it's just to get some extra practice with me, and I'll do like a third of the problems with them, because there's usually not that many. Like today, I'll show you what it was. This was today. So while my class is starting work, doing their focus work, I spend just a short amount of time with my kids who need that extra bump up there, and then they move into their computer programs, and then I move to my back table. I don't know if this makes sense. It's really hard to describe. So while I'm kind of supporting those kids through like the first third of their work, I'm actually doing another computer program with my high kids to where they're all doing the same problem, and they're like competing against each other. And then I send off my kids who I was giving more support at the carpet. I'll send them off, have them try it, and then I'll do like a lesson with my higher kids. And then after I'm done with that, then I can call my lower kids and have them just work on like basic math. And sometimes with them, I give them the work that's on level just because I have to have grades for that. But a lot of times I'll give them work, like focus work like this, that is more on their level. So just whether it's 1 digit or whatever they need help on. So basic addition, basic subtraction, things like that. So I'll switch that up too. I don't know if that was the best way to explain it. I'm just very tired.
They're the same. They're the same. They're kind of the same. They're kind of the same.
Their steps are the same. If you're learning, you are?
Participate.
I have someone who did not say it. If you're learning, you are?
Participate.
Okay, I gave that friend 2 chances. First, you subtract your 1. 7 minus 2 equals 5. Beautiful. Next, you subtract your 10s. 3 10s minus 2 10s equals 1. And the difference is 50. First, you subtract your 1s. 8 minus 4 equals 4. Next, you subtract your 10s. 8 10s minus 5 10s equals 3 10s. And the difference is 34. Only the numbers.
4 minus 3 equals 1. Next, 8
Not 8. 8.
10 minus 3 10 equals 5. And the difference is 51.
That's what we've been doing in math. And now I'm gonna go home. Good morning, happy Wednesday. I talked to you yesterday about how it was just a difficult day, but I came in this morning and I was like, I'm ready to have an amazing day today. An amazing day today. Did not start off that way at all. Had some, this age is tough because your students who are struggling with those really big emotions are really, really struggling. And I personally know how hard it is for them whenever they're feeling those big emotions. But the nice thing is, at least for me, we address it and we move on. You know what? I don't think I've talked to you guys about the board. Oh, this is something that I started doing because I went to Ron Clark Academy, and they have like different versions of the board. But basically when the students are not meeting the expectation, whatever, they put their names on the board. And at Ron Clark Academy, he can just point to them, like they know they're supposed to put their name on the board. I tell them, like, put your name on the board. Maybe in the future I can just come up with like a signal to give them, like name on the board. But here's the thing. I remember being a kid, and I remember the color card system, like clip charts and all that. And for me, I was always the bad kid. I was always the kid who was on red or blue, which is worse than red, where I was always that kid who was just struggling. And I remember that feeling of seeing my card on blue, just seeing it there and just feeling just so angry, feeling so angry that my card was on blue or whatever. And so when I started teaching, I knew that like no clip charts, no this, no that, whatever. That's great. But also I feel like somewhere along the lines, it gets hard with the consequences. Like I do class dojo and I give points, but I also use it to document. So I'll document behaviors, like I've shown you guys my negative points before, but I use it to document as well as reward. And so it's hard because it's something that I'm doing. And what I loved about going to Ron Clark Academy is that when the students put their name on the board, it was something that they were physically doing, and it meant something. Like it was a big deal. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try it, because here's the thing. And Ron Clark talked a lot about like the wussification of America. Like this, our students need to be held responsible for their actions, and they need to know that like when they're doing something that is inappropriate, like there is a consequence to that, and they need to be responsible. They need to be held accountable for that. So what I have my students do is I just have this little board. It's not like a big board in the front of the room. I actually, it's hidden behind here, like you can't even see it, so it's not like they're staring at their name on the board all day long, because I feel like that is a little I feel like it can be hard for students, especially at this age. Like it's just hard. So like let's say they're doing something just is totally out of line, or they're not meeting an expectation, they will go and they'll put their name on the board. I'm going to use my husband, so they write their name on the board and then it's done. My kids know that if they get 2 checks by their name, so that's 1, 2, 3 chances, then it's a call home to parents. And that, when I implemented that first day, it made such a difference. I also have a wheel that students write their name on, which I have shared with you guys on TikTok and Instagram. So if they do something amazing at Ron Clark, they give themselves a house point. So the way I kind of worked that in was students can put their name on that wheel, and then we'll spin the wheel, and if the wheel, when the wheel is full, we'll spin it. And if it lands on John, and John is in the house of Tenacity, Tenacity's house will get the point. So they can get their name on the board or their name on the wheel. And the thing about this is, and the reason that I feel comfortable doing this, is because I've seen such a decrease since I started doing this, because the consequence is real to them, and like they understand, like my name has a check. Like that is kind of, I don't know, I don't want to call it a limiting factor, but it's something in their brain that they know they have a name and their name in a check, and they know they're going to try really hard not to get that other check, because they don't want to have to talk to their parent on the phone about the choices that they're making. Ever since I started doing this, when I have their name on the board, 99% of the time, that's it, they're done. They tell themselves like, I need to make stronger choices, and it actually works. I'm serious. 99% of the time, I don't have recurring like check marks or multiple checks by their names. And for me, the thing is, I used to think something like this would be embarrassing. And in a way, it is embarrassing. But some of the behaviors that your students do in class, if it's you constantly having to tell them, stop doing this, stop doing this, stop doing this, or you need to be doing this, or what should you be doing? Like if you have to constantly do that, that is more embarrassing for that child to have a prolonged time of embarrassment versus them putting their name on the board, getting it over with, and having a great rest of the day. And I also, if my students' names are on the board and they have a great rest of the day, I make a point to tell them like, hey, you turned your day around, you made super strong choices, like it's a big deal. So hopefully I explained that the way I wanted to explain that, but just going to Ron Clark and hearing about like the wussification of America really just made me want to take it more seriously, and I think it's better for the kids. And like you walk through Ron Clark and you can just tell those kids know what they're doing. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking about Ron Clark and kind of show you the state of our room right now, because it's busy in here. We've got backpacks on the floor because it's library day. Since our backpack hooks are all squished over here together, on library day, they have more space to put their books away, and then they can go put their backpack away versus being crowded over here. So that's something that I do. We have a couple of kids who are finishing their personal narratives. I have one girl who already finished it this morning. Wednesday, today was definitely so much better, and it hasn't been bad, but it's been not great. So today actually started off really well. We have their independent reading time, and I went ahead and pulled one of my my highest group actually for our independent reading time, and with them I will try to link a couple of resources in the description for you guys. It's more second grade level work. We're focusing on finding evidence, and I'll even show you what's in their center folders as well. But we read Spring Has Sprung, and I do, you know, the classic color coding to kind of find the answers and the main idea, and we decoded and all of that. So I did that with my higher group today. Notice S, but there's something else there.
It's a construction.
It looks like a contraction. You're right. It looks like a contraction. That one's called an apostrophe. Okay.
We pause.
And the apostrophe S. You see it? Can you circle that apostrophe S? And let's see if you can figure out what it is. Mayleen's book. What is this apostrophe S right here telling us?
It's telling us that a person has a book, like
Yeah.
something.
The book belongs to
Maybe.
the Earth's axis. So what belongs to the Earth?
Axis.
The axis. Good. Without that apostrophe, what does the S normally mean at the end?
There's more books.
Not more books, more
There's
Maylene.
Maylene.
Right? So if we don't have that apostrophe there, it's like there's more than one Earth, and that would not make sense. There are many. Okay, now I want you to mark your vowels in this word. First syllable, open or closed? Closed. Good. This. Now our second one, short and lazy. So vis, ib, ul. Visible. There are many visible signs of spring. Maybe you can go wash your hands for me, buddy. So they said, how can we tell it's spring? And then they said, there's many visible signs of spring. So they're really just answering their own question. The way they do this, you remember how we talked about transitions in our writing? That's a transition right here. So I want you to put a box around that whole sentence. That's a transition sentence. The way their writing seems very smooth. We know what's coming next. Mark your vowels. I want you to go ahead and separate this word into its syllables. I want to see how you do. Be a little tricky. You guys all got the first one, so we're going to divide between the two consonants. First syllable is daff. Second syllable, what could it be?
Fold.
Could be fode. Why are you saying it's O?
Because it's a babysitter vowel.
Yeah, it's a babysitter vowel. We're gonna separate after that O and between the D. That is an open syllable. We hear that O sound. It's saying it's superhero sound. So it's daff, faux, and that last syllable is closed. That last syllable is dill. Let me show you up here. Sometimes you kind of have to test both ways and see which one sounds right. Okay. So where are we gonna separate this word?
In the base.
After base, right? So is this word basketball? What is it?
Baseball.
Baseball. And you're gonna get different colors. And when you find the answer to one of those questions, you can color it, and we can talk about it together, okay? So the first question is, what causes warmer weather? The second question is, 2 signs of spring. So 2 examples, how do you know it's spring? And then the last question is, why do people spend more time outdoors? So I want you to get crayons and come right back. Spring. Did you hear the answer to that question?
Yes.
Can you underline it for me? In spring, the Earth's axis is tilted toward the sun. The signs are. So keep reading, see if you can find what the signs of spring are. Couldn't record much else in terms of groups, but then what else? Okay, so we moved into Rhyme Magic, a lot of syllable work. We played a game where they try to guess my word. They guessed my word was fluttering, and when I tell you, I was just like, oh, and granted, I did give them a couple hints, but like, draw a city building. A city building. I'll do it with you. 10, 9, and board check. Oh, some of you took the smart route. Okay, you just drew one. I love that. Wipe it clean. Thank you. All right, beautiful. We are working with our rhyme. You got it. our rhyme ut. So we're gonna practice separating some of our syllables in these words. Are you ready? C-U-T-T-I-N-G. Mark your vowels with a V. Go for it. Vowels do you see? Two vowels. So we should expect this word to have two syllables. Where would we chop this word? Show me on your board. Yes, 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 yes. Every single person got it. Okay, so this one right here, this syllable, is it open or closed? It's a open. Hold on. We have a little debate going on. Remember, when our syllable is open, the vowel is at the end. When our syllable is closed, we've got a consonant right here keeping it short. You okay? All right, remember we talked about at the beginning of the year, whenever there's a consonant after the vowel, the superhero has to be in disguise. Yeah. It's got to be in disguise. So this vowel is going to say, So this is closed. Let's read the first syllable. Let me hear you. Cut. Second syllable. Ting. Word. Cutting. Beautiful. Wipe it clean. Beautiful. Mark your vowels with a V. V. Hey, sweet friend, I know you're new, but if we draw on our board. First vowel? U. U. Second vowel? E. E. So we should expect this word to have two syllables. Where would you divide this word? Show me. Yes. All right, between the two? The T's, the consonants right here. Syllable? Second syllable? Ters. Word? Shutters. You guys have got the hang of when you are looking at it, you can chop it. Let's practice writing some of these two-syllable words. Wipe it clean. Repeat after me. Shutting. Syllables, ready? Shutting. How many syllables? Two. Shutting. You guys are so smart. Check it for me. Check it. All right, our first syllable is shut. What do you guys hear at the beginning of that syllable? Oh, a what? A digraph. Spell. I'm going to make this bigger for you. Spell shut. S-A-U-T. What's our second syllable? Ting. Ting. Ready? Spell ting. T-I-N-G. Beautiful. So if you are working on spelling a word, you can use your syllable strategy. We're going to try this one more time and switch to a different strategy. Wipe it clean. Easy. If we draw on our boards, what happens? You know that rule. Without the ending, it's strut. I want you to try to write that base word strut and then add your ending. Now this one can be tricky because I do hear a blend, but it's not just a two-letter blend, it's a three-letter blend. Can I just hear that blend? Yeah. Stir, stir, stir. Good. And what's my ending? Ting. What's the ending? Ing. Good, but I have to what? I have to double the letter because the rhyme is at the end. We're going to try this one more time. Wipe it clean. S. I have a question for you. Can I do this? No, let's talk about why we can't do this. Say gutter. Syllables. Gutter. Every syllable has a vowel. Mystery word time. Wipe it clean. Oh, it's our favorite time. There's so many things it could be, but I have one. All right, board check. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 people got it. My mystery word was nut. Let me see. Yes! 4, 3, 2, 1. Everyone go ahead and put nut on your board. You can get it.
Oh, that's crazy. I don't know.
Okay, fancy mind readers. What's the word?
Peanut.
Peanut. And you know what I love? You guys remember that E sound is a vowel team. Spell peanut.
P-E-A-N-U-T.
Peanut. Blank. Ut. Blank, blank, blank. 7 people got it, and some of you were close. Correct. You have to double the letter.
Butter.
And my ending is er.
Butter.
It's butter. Wipe it clean. It was butter. It could have also been.
Gutter.
It could have been gutter. Blank, blank, blank.
Wow.
So we have blank, 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 blank. And I'll even help you out with syllables here because I'm going to be generous.
Give us one.
Here's your hints. 1 syllable, 2 syllable, 3 syllable. What could this part here be?
It could be a diagram.
It could be a digraph or it could be a blend. I'm going to tell you it's a blend. All these blanks back here means it probably has how many endings?
Probably 3. 2.
2. It has 2 endings. My rhyme, in the middle or the end? It's at the end here, so you probably have to. Let's see who can get my word. Oh my gosh, I already see someone has it. Could this word be butterfly?
No.
No, because there's 2 blanks here. It has a blend or a digraph, and I told you it's a blend. Quick question, what do you think this last blank 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 is? You are right, it is ing.
How when you do it?
And we already know we have to double the letter.
Yeah, when you do that.
We know this is a blend. Okay, you ready?
Yes. Hold on, give me 1 second.
What is mine?
Fluttering.
You guys are way too smart. That's really impressive. So they always love Rhyme Magic when they get to guess the word. We did poetry. One of my students led poetry today. She did verbs. That always goes really well now with the students leading it. And I kind of will see how they handle it if the students aren't with them, and I'll jump in if I need to. I actually don't. Yeah, I can't show you the poetry because some of this is for dojo, so you can see all the kids. Then for our read aloud, talk about it. On your leaf in 5, 4, 1. I heard identity. Now I want you to give me a thumbs up if your partner talked with you. I saw a lot of my friends doing exactly what we're supposed to do. You were facing your partner, looking straight into their eyes. But I did see a couple of people who were looking around. Make sure, especially when we do those, you are focused on your partner. That was wonderful. In the middle, talk about it. On your leaves in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Remember, yesterday we talked about keeping our conversations short and to the point. So, do I want you to tell me every little thing that May did?
No.
Just the important parts. New partner. Leaves in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In the end, talk about it. Your partner. I want to say one thing that I'm really proud of for somebody doing during this turn and talk is one of my friends, when I asked them about the end, they started talking about the middle. Maybe they forgot what I asked, but their partner said, we're talking about the end. And then they got right back on track. I love to see that. Thank you so much. So when you're writing today, to at least use one vocabulary word, maybe you could use conflict in the middle of the story. I want you to make sure you're going back and checking because we are in March, okay? First grade. Superstar.
5 goes, I know by heart. Capital letter, always first. Think of faces, between words. Sound them up the best you can. Punctuation at the end. Go back and check. We do our best.
You have to. That's one of the most important steps. Going back and checking, going back and checking, going back and checking. One of the most important steps because sometimes we make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes.
Everybody has those days.
Today they were just writing the important parts of the story. So the beginning, middle, and end. I did not even get a chance to look at them actually. Some examples just so you can see how much they are writing because some of them are even going on the back. And I don't know what these say, so I could be showing you terrible examples. Like this one didn't finish completely. I'll pull a small group to my back table and kind of do a shared writing with them, but I kind of switch it sometimes. So sometimes I'm like, you're gonna do a shared writing with me. Other times I'm like, okay, I wanna see just what you can do and kind of do a little progress check. But for the most part, and I had them draw on the back when they're done. But for the most part, they are really writing. So let's see how they did. In the middle, she saw a bird in this forest thing. That's hilarious. And her whole family and friends brought plans. Okay. Next, there was nowhere to make a guard. Where's N? She got the first syllable. Make a guard, but then, oh, this one she told me, she's like, I use suspense in my writing. She saw an apple tree bird. Then she followed the bird. And you know what? Some of these, like, whenever they're writing, I get a lot of questions like, oh, are those phonics skills and magic skills, are they transferring to their writing? Yes, and it's slow at first, but then you see more and more of it. And like, if one of my students spells, like, let's say they say followed, if they did followed wrong, if I circle that word and ask them to go back and like pay attention and do that word, they can get it. But a lot of times with first grade, the thing that's a challenge for them is if their phonics skills are not like perfectly mastered, which they're not going to be in first grade, and it takes a lot of effort for them to, you know, like slow down and really think about their writing. Their brains just want to get it all on paper. You're going to have those times where they don't do everything perfectly, just like if we were rushing to. I don't grade them on their writing when they're doing this. I grade them more on the content, and when it's writing time, then I grade them on that. I mean, at this point, if it's not a complete sentence, then we have a conversation because they need to, but all the little spelling things I don't necessarily. In the middle, she found a leafy forest and May waited and waited and waited, but suddenly she saw a little sprout. So like this student, instead of saying suddenly, they put suddenly, and I'd ask them, I'd circle it and I'd say, tell me the syllables, suddenly, and I'd ask them to check and make sure they have all those sounds. So in our read aloud, I just focused today on literally just talking about the beginning, middle, and end because that's all I wanted them to do. So I kept the goal just like very short and to the point because I also know we were a little bit pressed for time. I filmed a clip. We have a place value song, and the music came on to the tune of, what is it, Savage Love, and the Kids Bop Savage Love came on, and they all just started singing the place value song, and I thought that was so hilarious.
Place value, you have to tell you, numbers can't lie, but there's really zeros hiding inside. You can fit a number into what it's really worth. I can prove it.
Then moving into center time, I wanted to show you a couple of different clips of just the different work that the students had, so you can kind of get an idea of what I put in their center folders.
Like a helping, like say somebody like that's
We had a little cotton candy party after lunch. We did mixed addition and subtraction, and I think this lesson went really well. It was nice and short. Good. We were finding the difference of two numbers. Two-digit numbers was the difference. Good. When we add, it's called the sum. When we subtract, it's called the difference. Good. When we add, it's called the sum. When we subtract, it's called the difference. How do we decide if a problem is something we need to add?
We look at the numbers.
Not the numbers.
The sign.
The signs. Okay, we're going to start by doing a couple of them out loud together. First, you add. Oh, wait, what?
Add.
Someone was saying subtract. Pay attention. Ready? First, you add the ones. 3 plus 4 equals 7. Next, you add the tens. 5 tens plus 2 tens equals 7 tens. And the sum is
77.
First, you subtract your ones. Okay, we're going to speed it up. First, you subtract the ones. 9 minus 1 equals Perfect. Here we go. Some of you look dejected. You should look determined.
8 minus 4 equals
Difference is
84.
Okay, whenever I do this, I'm just asking you sum or difference. Got it?
First,
You add your 1. 5 plus 8 equals, write it. Next, you add your 10s. 1 10 plus 6 10 plus 2 10 equals, write it, write it. And the sum is 93. Okay, my voice is off. You guys are going to tell me all the steps and the numbers. You guys are saying everything. Go please. Ready?
first you add your ones. 5 1 6 equals 11. 1 goes down and 10 goes over.
Over. Good.
Next, you add your 10. 4 10
Close that over. Make sure your 10s.
1 10 plus 4 10 plus 3 10 equals 8 10. And the sum is 81.
Nice job. End of the day was fun. We played the flinch game I talked about where everybody stands on the edge of the carpet and I throw like a stuffy or something at them, and if they catch it, they're good. If they don't catch it, they're out. If they flinch, then they are out, and they love that game. They think it's the best. I did have book club after school. We're reading Learn Like a Pirate. So if you read this book, let me know your thoughts. It's all about a student-led classroom, which I have been trying to do more and more of this year, so I thought this was the perfect thing as I gotta go through these trial runs at the end of the year so that next year hopefully everything is nice and not perfected, but at least have a starting point. So see you tomorrow. Good morning. Today is Thursday. I'm a little embarrassed that this person came and dropped off a cookbook and my room was really messy. I'm a little embarrassed about that, but that's so nice. So I've been trying to share more. Oh, wait, there's gummy bears. Raspberry orange gummies. Look, that sounds good. I've been sharing more about my meals and dinners and things at night, and I've been trying to save that to a new highlight. Ooh, spinach and artichoke dip. A new highlight on my Instagram. And I've been more like public about like how much I like cooking and trying new recipes. So getting this is just like so thoughtful and so perfect. That is really nice. A lot of very like fresh acorn squash boats. What in the world is that? 2 acorn squash. Never had that before. I feel like a lot of good has been coming to me this week, and I'm just trying to sit with that for a moment. Okay. I have a mom who comes in on Thursdays to help print, so I'm going to get some stuff ready for her. I talk a lot about how I use parents in the classroom. So I have parents come during, just as a little recap, I have parents come during our like independent reading time, and I have them come Friday mornings to help me fill bee binders, change out the poetry in our poetry folder. They'll take pictures of student work and put it in Class Dojo because that's something that I find super important, and I also can use that to grade. So if I snap a picture of everybody's work in Class Dojo, I don't have to hang on to any papers. Whenever I go to input grades, I can just look at the Class Dojo. And then I have a mom who comes and helps, and she just like will make copies or laminate for me. So little things I think that if it's possible for you to do will make a big difference for you, because it's made a huge difference for me. So let's get some of that ready. Okay, we are prepped and we are ready, and we're gonna rock this day. So why'd you guys have to do your jobs again this morning?
Because so we can make our classroom cleaner and better so no books.
But why did we have to do them in the morning?
We didn't do it yesterday.
We didn't do our jobs yesterday. I came in this morning, there's still headphones on the floor over there We need to do better at taking care of our classroom. It's so embarrassing. Someone came into my room this morning before I got here. They left me a little gift and they came in and the room was so messy and I felt so embarrassed. We need to do better. Can we do better?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Today our special is STEM. Help with the E. Watch. That. My tongue. Good, go back and check. Start at the top, like this. Hook down, cross. Oh, it looks like you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words. Why does it look like that?
Because each word has to have another letter that to make the sound.
Okay, so is this a word?
Yes.
Is this a word?
Yes.
Is this a word?
No.
No, there's a big space here. Can we close that gap? Yeah, that's beautiful. You even got fancy with that A too. Restroom, we're gonna do rhyme magic. Thank you for cleaning up first. Do boys line, girls line, whiteboard smart. Nope, take the one right on top. Beautiful, keep it moving, keep it moving. Keep it moving, keep it moving. Ready? Say shut.
Shut.
Syllables with me.
Shut.
How many syllables?
1.
How many vowels?
1.
1. Right? Shut. Spell it. S-H-U-T. Good. Leave it on your board. Good. If you were erasing, you were not following my instructions. Shut should still be on your board. I want you to make this word say shutter. Like on the side of a window, we have a shutter. Shutter. Make it say shutter. Okay, board check. Almost everyone got it. Some of you have this word here, which is what? Sit please, sit please. Some of you have this word, which is what?
Shooter.
Shooter, because this is a mommy E. What do we need to do?
Double the letter.
Double the letter. That way, this superhero vowel can stay in disguise. Shutter. Okay, I want everyone's board to say shutter. Well, now if we have more than one shutter, it's called two shutters. Make it say shutters. Okay, board check, board check, board check. Good, all I have to do is add in S. What's the word?
Shutter.
How many syllables are in this word?
2.
There's 2 syllables. Wipe it clean.
Easy.
Look, Miss Call was just about to. I also forgot to start our timer. I'm so sorry. Okay, next word. Are you ready?
Yes.
I didn't hear everybody.
Yes.
Are you ready? Okay, beautiful. Next word is buttery. Syllables. Ready? Buttery. How many syllables?
3.
3 syllables. I want you to try it. Buttery. Buttery. Oh my gosh, this toast is so buttery. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Every syllable has a vowel. Board check. Ooh, nice job. You've got that doubled letter this time. Okay, ready? Spell butt. Tur. E. Y. There's that third vowel. Wipe it clean. Okay, you guys have the hang of it. We're gonna play a new game, and our new game is called
You said game.
Our new game is called Same Same Not the Same. Say it with me. Same same not the same. Same same not the same. You are going to write. You played it really because I just made it up. You are going to write a word that has ut. Any word you want, and you're gonna hug it to your chest. And then I'll tell you the next step. Okay, you are going to walk around, and if someone has the same word as you, you're going to erase your board. Okay? If someone has the
Same word as
if you have the same word as someone, both of you erase your boards and sit down.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, if you're standing, I want to hear your word. What's your word?
Utterly.
Utterly. Who got utterly? You're a winner. Okay, another word. Butt. Who got butt? Oh, sit down. All right, wipe it clean. Okay, our timer is. I'm gonna do one more round. Who can come up with the most unique word. I'm gonna play too. All right, winners, hold them up high.
I'm a winner. I found no one again. I'm a winner. I am a winner.
One. My word was stutter.
Mine was utterly.
Nuts. Should Miss Call have to remind you? No, sometimes I'm generous, but I should not have to. Okay, we have done capital letter, punctuation, sight words, we've done nouns, we've done adjectives, we've done verbs. It's time for contraction. A contraction is when what?
Some letters are kicked out.
Not just some letters are kicked out, what happens?
You combine two words
Combine
and kick letters out.
And kick some letters out. We only had one word in our whole poem that was a contraction. It was I'm, and that's a contraction for? I am. Now we can do our rhyming.
Finally, I like rhyming.
Okay, looking for a leader. Fellow yellow. We're going to dive deep into our character and our setting and talk about all of the details that the author and illustrator used to make it more interesting, because next week when you guys start your own stories, we're going to be doing something similar. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. All May found was a cranky cat. May missed playing with her friends, listening to the birds and the apple trees, and gathering things for her treasure jar. How can we describe May so far? Talk about it. New partner. May is. You guys just discussed May's what?
Identity.
Her identity. Okay, so we're going to start talking about May's identity. I've put her in a board, please. Not a good time. I've put her in a circle chart. Do you see her name? May.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about her identity.
Her
Her garden, right? Okay, so we're going to put that on here. Loves her garden. Who can put this over? Thank you. We know about her. Yeah?
Something important about is she misses is playing with her friends and she loves plants.
They're part of her identity.
Why?
They're why, right? All that's part of her personality. Okay, let's keep reading. Butterflies. So she's, okay, we know something else. She's what?
She longs to chase butterflies.
Character.
Chase the sky again. She's lonely.
Lonely. Because she misses her friends. What else?
She drove her own butterfly because
Which makes her?
because she likes chasing the butterflies.
She drew her own butterflies.
It tells us that she likes to sometimes explore things.
Okay, so that means she's...
Let's go chase butterflies. She's adventurous.
She just got, she's adventurous. What else?
She likes to draw.
Which makes her...
An artist.
An artist. And artists are people that are...
Kind.
Creative, that is the word I was looking for. Creative, put that on our last one. So we know a lot about May already, and we're only a couple pages into the story, which means our author did a really good job at explaining May's identity. Do you think May's parents care that she doesn't have a garden? I'm tapping you in.
What's happening?
Remembers what my question was. Can you stand up and remind the class? Don't look at me.
The question is that do you think May's parents care about that she misses her friends? I think that she don't care about that she misses her friends.
No, you are right. Stand up, say it. Actually, Miss Call asked.
Miss Cole actually asked if her parents cared about her garden. What do you have to say?
You can go.
Thank you. I think that her parents, I agree with you. I also think that, her parents are like, do you like to add to that?
Yes.
You can do it.
Is supported because she doesn't have her own garden.
Tap me back in. Okay, welcome back. I really liked what you said because you used evidence from the story. When you stand up, you look. Don't just try to be the first person to speak every single time, okay? because every single person here has something important that they can add to the conversation. And if I only hear from one person the whole time, or the same 2 or 3 people, it's not really a conversation with our class. It's a conversation between those people. And we want to have a conversation with everybody. So when you pull in other people to the conversation, you're showing them that you care about their opinion. Okay, so we asked, do May's parents, welcome back to Scott. Do May's parents care? And we don't know, but one of my friends pointed out, they said you can make a new garden, but her parents didn't really help her. She had to figure it out on her.
That was rude they said.
Really? Do you think that's rude?
Yeah.
So if I tell you to do something by yourself, am I being rude?
No.
No, I'm teaching you how to
Learn and be
independent. So we know something about our setting so far, and the setting is when a story happens. So would this story be the same if she moved to an area with a lot of farms? So what is important about the fact that this is a city? There's a lot of people. What else is important about this setting?
A lot of buildings.
There's a lot of buildings.
Because all those buildings are taking up all that room. If there's not enough space to make a garden.
Exactly. So she has to use her identity, which is that she is creative, right? She has to use her identity that shows she is creative to solve the conflict. So do you see how her being in a city, the setting, affects her problem, right? She would not have the same conflict if she lived on a farm.
5 + 2 equals 7. Next, you add your 10.
Okay, ready with me? Show me.
This is funny, isn't it?
Okay, ready? Down, 10 goes over.
It only equals 9 -
54 plus 38. Together with me, please. Ready? Here we go. First, you add your 1. 4 plus 8 equals 12. 10 goes over.
Okay, let's work.
Next, you add your 10s. 1 10 plus 5 10s plus 3 10s equals 9 10s, and the sum is 92. First, you subtract your 1s. 5 minus 9. We can't do it. Okay, so what we have to do is exchange. Let's start with 42. Draw 42. Minus 3. We can't do it. Exchange a 10. Next, you subtract your 10s. 3 10s minus 2 10s equals 1. And the difference is 19. You can do 5 too. And the difference is
38.
38. And the difference is
28.
28. Alright, we're done.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you did it, girl. I don't believe I checked in with you Thursday after school. And I'm sure I had so much to tell you, but you know what? Save in your ear a little bit. Today was Friday. It's the end of the day. Here's some clips. Number 1, putty. What number are we on?
1.
What's the word? Number 2, donuts. Donuts. Do your syllables if you need it. Take off your ending if you need it. Donut. What was number 1? What was number 2? Number 3, cluttered. What's the word? Cluttered. Like our room has so much stuff. It is so cluttered. Stuttering. Do your syllables. Make sure your superhero vowel can stay in disguise. What was number 1? What was number 2? What was number 3? What was number 4? Stuttering. Number 5. Uttermost. Say it with me. Uttermost. I have the uttermost respect for you. Uttermost. It's actually a compound word.
Yes.
Uttermost.
Oh my God.
Okay, do the best you can. You can do smiley face harder, check on your paper how you felt.
Hope is gone, but you must go on and do the next right thing.
Characters have?
Problem.
Characters?
Change.
Okay, did Anna have a problem?
Yes.
Yes, so what did she tell herself to do? Do the next right thing. Every choice is a step. You do the next right thing, then you do the next right thing, then you do the next right thing. I did not see you guys today doing the next right thing. I was out there talking in the hallway to a couple of teachers about something important, and I had student after student after student after student after student. I'm pretty sure there were 6 kids who were coming up outside instead of just doing the next right thing. That's what I need you to do. When you guys went to the bathroom today,
We needed to do
the next right thing. Even if you stumble, like she said, even if you stumble, do the next right thing, okay? Okay, we're gonna do a couple out loud, a little bit slow, then we're gonna pick up the pace. You ready? First, you add your ones. 3 plus 4 equals 7. Next, you add your tens. 5 tens plus
2 tens
equals 7. And the sum is 77 equals 1. Good. Some of you are stretching that equals. Saying equals. You just gotta say equals. Okay?
Equal.
4 minus 3 equals 1. Okay, ready? Next, a process change. No. Show me. First, you subtract your ones. 9 minus 5 equals 4. Next, you subtract your tens. 110 minus 110 equals 0. And the difference is 4. Beautiful. How do you feel about this one? Okay, ready? 3 plus 6 equals 9. Next, you add your tens. 4 tens plus 5 equals 9. And the sum is 99. Next one, show me. 8 minus 4 equals 4. Next, you subtract your tens. First, you subtract your ones. 9 minus 5 equals 4. Beautiful. Next, you subtract your tens. 8 tens minus 4 tens equals 4. Everybody say it. We're going to start over. 10 minus 4 tens equals 4 tens. And the difference is 44. Who wrote them? She wanted to send them. So I didn't have to buy them, thankfully. I was going to try to buy them.
Because I was about to say, then you're just spending lots of money on cereal books.
Yeah.
So you save money.
Saved money.
Yeah.
And now I got to open them all. not much to recap with you today. We did our rhyme magic test. They did phenomenal. I will show you. And I don't know if I've mentioned it in this vlog yet, but I do have a whole new highlight on my Instagram. If you go to my highlights on my Instagram, it's called Rhyme Magic, and I kind of walk you through just an example of what a week of Rhyme Magic looks like. I know you guys are seeing it here too, but if you want to quickly reference it, go to my highlights on Instagram. And if you're not following me there, come say hi. So here are the words that I chose. They did really well, like so good. Yeah, it's pretty satisfying. Because even the ones that didn't get it, again, were so close. Like, I am so proud of my kids and just the progress with writing. I need to hang up their new personal narratives. We are finished with our personal narratives. So I talked about this before, I think in a vlog, I'm pretty sure. If not, oops. But the kids just work on a draft in their journals, and then they copy it onto paper that looks like this. And if they run out of space, they have lines, so the beginning, middle, and end. And actually this time for their personal narratives, I had them do like a before, kind of like an introduction to the story. So like, we'll just read this one as an example. Me and my family packed our bags. It was sad to leave the house because I would miss my cat, but I was still excited to go. Then her beginning is, we packed our stuff in the car. We still had to pack. It took a long time to pack everything we need for the trip. It was a little bit fun to pack. I got to pack toys too. I even got to pack my own dog toy. Yay! So you can see how like the very first part kind of leads into the beginning of her story. So they technically have like 4 parts, like a prequel, if you will. But just to break down my process, it's they write in their journals and then they get these papers. Hold on, let me show you like a picture. She has a lot of words. So after their words are done, they get the picture box and lines, and they draw their picture first because I don't want them to do the work of writing something and then drawing a picture, because if their picture is just like they rush or they scribble or something, I don't want them to have to like redo it. So I make sure the picture is good and then they add the words on top. So they get the picture paper, and then if they need extra lines, I don't know if she actually needed any. And they do an about the author, which let me find a face that I can show you. Their about the author page is supposed to be like, so-and-so is a first grader, she goes to school and she loves this and she's the author of so-and-so, and yeah, but some of their about the author pages are just straight up funny. Like they'll name all their BFFs in one go. For this one, I let them glue their little picture in there, and I'll read from a different student, that way you don't know who I'm reading. But this person said, oh, this one's my favorite. It says, Student is very hungry. He eats a lot. He lives in Las Vegas. He loves everyone in a different way. He loves restaurants like Mickey D's, KFC a lot. That's his. And his book last time was about the McDonald's drive-thru. So I thought that was funny. So-and-so is 6 years old, and this happened a very long time ago, and this is when I was in preschool. A student also wrote Student and the Puppy. That was his other book. Student lives in Las Vegas and he goes to school, and it's pretty fun. Learn, and that's why he loves school. Illustrated by Student. He is also the author of Baseball King. Student has a dog. She's in first grade. She has a girl teacher named Miss Call and a friend named so-and-so. She has a sister named so-and-so. She loves Stitch and has a new student. That was funny to me because we had just gotten a new student like a day before she wrote that, and so she made sure to include that. My name is Student. I go to school. I do tumbling and cheer. I have 3 brothers and 3 animals. I love my mom and my dad and my brothers. I love my friends so-and-so and so-and-so. I also love my cat and my dog and my tortoise. I have 2 grandpas. I love my cousin. I love my teacher. I go to first grade. I think you really want to be bored with me reading you their actual stories. I don't know if that's exciting to you or not. Some of them have like 10 pages in their story. It is wild, not even with large handwriting. But if you do want to hear a story, me and my family wanted a new dog from a husky store to buy a husky because some huskies are cute and some huskies are not. We made sure we got the right one. When I got him from the husky store, me and my family got the right one. We named him Jack, and that's just the beginning. He was cuddling with me when we were coming back. That was the best day of my life. When we were at my house, I smelled dinner. He even followed me there. He is amazing. Can't believe this day. This day was too amazing. Oh, he even spelled 2 right. This day was too amazing. And then on Sunday, he died. Everybody in my family was wailing. Even me, it was too emotional. I was too sad. I was thinking about him on spring break. Oh my gosh, I didn't even see this part of his story. Oh no. That's it. That's the sad. That is so sad. Let's do a palette cleanser. Okay, how about this one? This one's called Student the Chick Queen. I was talking to my teacher. Oh, I'll show you the picture. I was talking to my teacher on the computer. My mom said, "Can we have a chick?" My teacher said, "Sure, okay." We went to the desk. I said, "Hi." My mom said, "Can we go to the room?" She said, "Hi, sure." We went to the room. I see a friend. I said, "Friend, hi, I love you." We went home. We played music in the car. So cute, the little music notes. I love all the little details. Got home. I went home. I went to bed. The little chicks. She separated her pictures too. Oh, summertime. I had to go on vacation. I cried on the plane. Everyone said, "Shh." That's the end. The funny thing is, I read some of their endings, and that's not what they were. Let's find another one. I was driving to LOL Kids Club. I said, "Mom, are we there yet?" Mom said, "No, we're not there yet." I said, "Oh." I said, "Oh." In the car, they're singing A, B, C, D. Finally, we got there. We walked in. I had to get my wristband, and I got to go play, and then I saw Student. I played and played. I was sweating. We were driving home. We took off our shoes. Ooh, I said. Or ooh, ooh, I don't know. Okay, let's read one more. First, I wanted to play a game. It was my first game. It's called Roblox, but I was just too nervous to play the game. And he's saying, "Mom, can I play games?" And she said, "Yes." Next, I started to play the game. It was quite stressful to play, but I'm still working on it. And he's saying, "Mom, this is stressful." And she's saying, "That's great." And I asked him, I was like, "Why is she saying that's great?" And he basically said like, oh, it was a challenge for him, so that was good. I can even see his little computer game on the screen. Like, tell me that's not so cute. Now, it gets more easier every time I play. Easy win, I said, in quotation marks. But still, I wanted to challenge myself, so I played a second one. The game was called Ants vs. Zombies. Mom, I got a win. Here's a ball. Blue team wins. Now I was playing a different game. It was more stressful, but I do not give up. So I tried as hard as I can. I did it. I was so proud of myself. Mom, this is easy. Play another game. They're funny. Math today was really, really fun. They're doing great. We're going to take our test for 2-digit addition and subtraction next week. I let some of them take it today. I honestly should have let some of them take it like 2 days ago. Jen from Hello Jen Jones. I love her. I've taken PDs from her before. I follow her on Instagram. She said she shares a lot of really great resources over at Hello Literacy. And I printed and folded and stapled like a million of her decodables. And they're the only ones I use. I really, really like them. She was working on getting a physical set because this is digital. I keep all the copies actually in, you can't see, keep all the copies in these binders. So this is for the yellow books right here. These are the books, her like actual hardcover, not hardcover, her actual print copy books. So they're pink, yellow, and orange. I keep all the ones that I had before in here in case I need to make extra copies. You can't really see, but so this is the same. But she actually sent me all the decodables, and my kids today during Fun Friday, I was organizing them. This is kind of how I did it with the paper ones. I just clipped a set together with these binder clips. I was clipping them and separating them during Fun Friday, and the kids were so excited. They were like, "Miss Cole!" I've got to separate my last set. This is the pink set, but it's Friday, so I think I'm going to go home and do that Monday. Also eating little 1-Up protein bar. So I do apologize if this vlog was kind of all over the place. Next week is going to be much more succinct. I'll take you home. We'll do all the fun things. But let me know how it felt being back. Let me know what you think of some of the changes. If you think I didn't explain something well enough and you have questions, let me know. And yeah, you can always DM me on Instagram. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like this video if you had a great time. Subscribe and join the family down below, and I will see you in the next one. Really awkward to say that for the first time in like a month.